My name is Theo Fleury. I'm a former National Hockey League hockey player. I played in the NHL for 15 seasons with Calgary for 12, and then I was in Colorado with the Avalanche, New York Rangers, and Chicago Blackhawks. And I have to tell you, I'm an Aboriginal First Nations person. Something that I've always been extremely proud of. I come from Métis and Cree heritage, so I come from a long line of fiddlers and jiggers and a lot of music. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Did you know that the jiggers from Sag King just won Canada's Most Wanted or something?
Canada's Got Talent.
Canada's Got Talent. That was
wow.
the name, yes.
Well,
and they just won. They came in first.
Wow, that's so awesome to hear. That's great.
So you come from a great tradition.
I do, yeah, for sure. My grandmother was a champion jigger, and
Really?
she always carried a piece of plywood in the trunk of her car.
Yeah.
So it was
Set it down.
and my grandpa would play the fiddle, and away they go.
dancing,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a great social time, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? Oh, It was unbelievable. Yeah. Well, my fondest memories as a child growing up was my dad was actually born on a farm in a small community called Saint Lazare, which is a Métis community in Manitoba, and they had a family farm, and the family farm was called Chinatown, and it overlooked the Assiniboine Valley, and just a beautiful piece of property. And we used to go there every Sunday, hang out with our cousins and aunts and uncles and grandma and grandpa, and that's what we used to do, break the fiddles out and guitars, and away we go.
So what was your youth? Was it jigging, fiddling, and playing hockey?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Yeah, for sure. I always love the music. Every time I hear a fiddle, it's almost like it's a part of my DNA almost, and I just get this really nice warm feeling inside every time I hear the fiddle. So
That would probably be called the blood memory.
yes,
The reference to blood memory.
absolutely, for sure. And my grandfather was a railroader on the CN Railroad, and he was a foreman, and just a really hardworking guy, nice guy. And my grandma was the tough one. She was big on discipline, but I really enjoyed spending time with her and listening to the stories of how she grew up and where she grew up, and so it's been a cool journey.
Right on. Well, you're in London, Ontario now, and you're here to talk a little bit about the highlights of your hockey career. Maybe you can just expand a little bit about that.
Well, I wouldn't say that I'm here to talk about my hockey life. I'm here more to talk about this incredible journey I've been on, which is called life. And I've had lots of highs and lots of lows, and I'm more here to provide inspiration and hope for people that are maybe struggling with one part of their life, and they need some inspiration that way. All in all, I touch a little bit on my hockey experiences, but this is an Aboriginal group, and I talk a lot about some of the stuff that we talked about earlier, and I'm really basically on a spiritual journey, really trying to figure out the true meaning of life, and what's really important, and what's happened is I've been drawn back into the Aboriginal way of life, spiritually, smudging, sweat lodges, powwows, sun dances, all of that stuff. I see you're wearing a medicine bag. I have a medicine bag, and I'm an honorary chief at Siksika, which is a Blackfoot Nation just outside of Calgary, and I have a spiritual a grandmother who adopted me and has basically been teaching me, you know, ever since. And you know, I've been bestowed the honor of a pipe carrier now too, as well. So it's really been truly an incredible journey, and it's and it's been huge in my recovery, you know, and it was the one piece that had been missing, you know, in my life and in my recovery was that spiritual side of life. And now that I've, you know, gotten a bit of a grasp as to really what I'm supposed to do on a daily basis through the traditions. You know, I've been sober for 7 years, so, and I owe a lot of that to you know, to guys like yourself, you know. So it's you know, and that's the stuff that I talk about is because, you know, hockey's just a game, you know, and, you know, I played the game for 15 years and now I got the rest of my life to live, right?
Yes,
so you know, life is more important than the game, and you know, it's all about, you know, being honest and being true and being pure and you know, and trying to help people through my story, right? And that's, you know, when you sit down with the elders, that's what you hear. You hear the stories. And the music, the songs have all been passed down from, you know, generation to generation, and each song has a special meaning to that family or whatever. So it's yeah, and it's really about giving back respect to, you know, the people that came before us, right?
You're becoming a storyteller yourself.
Yes, a little bit.
In the real oral tradition. You've been listening a lot.
I have been listening.
Which is our way.
And you know what? There's been some incredible things that have happened, you know, along this journey. I was in Bella Coola on BC, speaking at a sexual abuse conference there, and there was a young gentleman who was 25 years old. And he took it upon himself to learn about his culture. And so he invited me to go on a hike with him up into the mountains. And so I went up into the mountains with him. And there was an incredible stream that was just roaring right down where you could just put your hand in and just drink the water. It was that pure. And so we came to this opening, and there was a whole bunch of carvings there. Okay? And so he started to explain what each carving was, and they were all animals, right? And there was one that just caught my attention, and it was a carving of a frog, okay? And the story of the frog is, you know, the frog never looks back. Have you ever seen a frog hop backwards?
No.
I've never seen a frog. So he can look to the left and he can look to the right, but he's always going ahead. And I thought, you know, that really makes sense in my life. And so fast forward 9 months later, I'm in Winnipeg at another conference, and there's a sweat lodge right on Main Street in Winnipeg. And Thunderbird House. So I went to the sweat the day before I was speaking, and you know, it was like every other sweat that I ever participated in. It was great. It was wonderful. It was enlightening, and so the next day I spoke and I told the story of the frog. And sure enough, as soon as I was done speaking, the spiritual guy that ran the sweat the night before grabbed the mic and said, "You'll never guess what walked into the sweat lodge last night." He said, "The frog." So, you know, you just never know, you know, what life is really all about. But if you're willing and you're open to take in all this information and listen, you know.
That's right. That's right. And you also got to host, as Master of Ceremonies, the National Aboriginal Achievement Foundation Awards this year with Carmen Moore, and you got, you know, Dave Corshane, who won the award for culture.
Yes, absolutely, and to be a part of something like that was truly, you know, an honor, you know.
A role model of all role models.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there you are.
Yeah, and to have a, you know, a lovely host in Carmen Moore too, who you know, who leads a very, you know, traditional life herself, and so it was great to be in a room full of Aboriginal role models, you know, because whenever, I've been to almost 50 First Nations communities since my book came out.
Okay.
And
4 years ago.
yeah, and what the elders tell me is that we need more role models.
Yes,
we need more people that our youth can aspire to be and whatnot. So to be in a room full of all these incredible, amazing people that have done, incredible things with their life, like I said, was truly, an honor to be a part of it, and to be the person that, was announcing the winners was, pretty cool.
Yeah. So, as a hockey player, you've won many awards. You've been on the Stanley Cup winning teams, the Calgary Flames.
Calgary Flames, yeah.
You were on the Canada Olympic team that won a gold medal.
Yes.
And that ranks up there. But I mean, the way some of the stories you're sharing with me now, you've really come to other pinnacles, other peaks in your life that you've achieved. And I like the story about the frog of carving. That is wonderful.
What I've realized is that, there's always been a plan for my life. And, the times that I had control of my life were the times that were the most difficult in my life, right? Because I was basically driving the bus, right?
Yes.
And when I drive the bus always crashes, right?
Yes.
And so now, through the teachings, I've learned that there's a plan for my life, and every morning I just get up and pray to the Creator to guide me to wherever it is He wants me to go, and ever since I've done that, I have a pretty incredible life.
Yes. It's pretty simple. You're asking for help in the morning, giving thanks at night, and then letting people, through people, places, things, and situations, the Creator's work unfolds, eh?
Absolutely. Well, and the grandfathers and the
ancestors.
that's, I lean a lot on them because, it just works. I don't know why or how, and I don't really care. All I know is, that, you wake up every morning and you just try to repeat the same thing you did the day before, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, the name of your book, Playing with Fire, how can, is there a website for it?
Yeah, you can go to theofleury14.com, or you can go to amazon.com as well. And every chapters and Indigo stores across the country carry the book. So, and that that's been truly unbelievable too. I had no idea what I was getting myself into when I wrote the book, but I wrote it, in the purest form that I could, and I tried to be, as honest and open and forthright about my life as I possibly could be, and I guess because of that, this whole country connected with that, and because we have so many abuse survivors, all across the country, that I think it reached within their soul and gave them permission to say, me too. So and that's just power that I can't even explain, other than point to the sky and say, I'll keep doing whatever it is you want me to do.
Exactly. Excellent. That's beautiful, Theo. And your life story did become a production, a theatrical production,
it did
as well, Playing with Fire.
Yeah, it did. It did very well. They just finished it up last month, and it was very well received. And the guy did a fantastic job of, I guess portraying me, and so it's been incredible, and to be able to exhaust all these avenues, so that we can reach as many, survivors as possible has been really kind of the whole neat thing, I guess, that's come out of this.
Well, Chimigwetz, brother, thank you very much for coming to London and speaking to our youth and providing a role modelship for them. Example, power of example. You've lived that, and you've become that, and you are now one of the, those that we aspire to. Right on.
Well, thank you, and I'll give you a little Blackfoot. It's Sukapi.
Sukapi.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okinapi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right on, brother.